Homeless dog is on the verge of death until one man goes above and beyond to save him. Wilson Coutinho Martins, a resident of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, dedicates his life to helping animals of all sorts. He's well known in his community for his rescue and rehabilitation efforts, and he has even begun to amass a sizable and dedicated online following. For Wilson, every opportunity to help an animal in need is important to him, but there are some rescues that stand out from the rest, and some animals remain very close to his heart. One of them was a dog named Davi. Wilson Coutinho Martins is a native of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, who is known around his community for his tireless efforts and dedication to helping neglected, forgotten, and abused animals of all kinds. Wilson documents his rescue and rehabilitation efforts on social media, and he has amassed a significant online following. He even has a Facebook page that boasts more than 500,000 followers. Back in September of 2012, Wilson embarked on one of the most personally significant rescues of his career. While hiking in the woods near his house, he came across a little makeshift tent with a dog living inside. Strays weren't an uncommon sight in Rio de Janeiro, and the matter was often further complicated by the fact that many pet owners let their dogs and cats wander unsupervised. This pooch, however, was clearly abandoned on purpose, and he was in need of urgent help. Before he discovered him, Wilson had received a tip that there was a dog, whom he later named Davi, who was living in the woods. He'd been unable to sleep thinking about the poor, sickly thing living out there alone. The tent indicated that someone had intentionally abandoned Davi, as did the small, now empty food bowl outside of it. Wilson wasn't sure how long the dog had been out there on his own, but it was likely a long time, given that he was all skin and bones. Later, Wilson confirmed that the dog weighed just 28 pounds. Davi's ribs and hip bones were clearly visible under his thin, white fur, and this only exacerbated the open wound that he had on his backside. The lesion had clearly started at the base of his tail, but it had grown, leaving nearly all of his rear end infected, raw, and discolored. In certain places, the sore was so bad that his bones were exposed. Wilson knew the poor pup needed help right away. In addition to discovering the wound and his malnutrition, Wilson also realized that the dog was anemic and likely had gotten some sort of infection from being bitten by so many ticks. After spending some time with Davi in order to get him to trust him, Wilson tried to walk the dog home. Unfortunately, the dog's open sore was so painful and inflamed that he could barely move on his own. Wilson had to carry Davi out of the woods and to his house to begin rehabilitating him. At home, the first thing he did was bandage Davi's wound so that it would no longer be exposed to the open elements. Then he brought him to a veterinary clinic, where Davi received a blood transfusion and was put on IV antibiotics. Davi's recovery was touch and go at first, but Wilson's round-the-clock care helped him pull through. After a month, the dog's lesion finally began to heal, and as that improved, he was able to begin to gain weight. A little over a month after he had first found the dog, Wilson posted an update on Facebook. "Our Davi is well and gets better every day. He got pretty fat and his improvement is visible. Thank you to the 3 veterinarians who helped me in the recovery of Davi. Can you believe the difference?" As Davi's health improved, so did his mood. Before long, the pup's distinct personality began to shine through. He was very much a people person, and he certainly had a penchant for tearing up pillows. After a number of months, Davi's wounds had completely healed and he looked like a completely different dog, save for a small scar at the base of his tail. Wilson was overjoyed to see his hard work pay off. Throughout the whole rescue and recovery process, Wilson had grown very attached to Davi. It soon became clear that he needed to adopt the dog permanently, rather than try to find him a new family. Their bond was just too close. Eventually, Wilson posted an entire album of photos documenting Davi's miraculous recovery on Facebook. Since then, the photos have attracted more than 35,000 reactions and 10,000 comments from well-wishers. It's a good thing that Wilson found Davi when he did and was able to give the sick dog a chance to live a healthy and happy life. It looks like these two will make plenty of happy memories together. Every pet deserves a loving home, but the sad truth is not all animals are provided one.